Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, H.O. Love, here with your AEW Battle of the Belts, January 2022 review. First time for AEW Battle of the Belts, which will become a yearly thing. Not a pay-per-view, not a Rampage, not a Dynamite. Battle of the Belts. First for AEW and first for a podcast. The show, I recorded it because I was at a game, and and when I got back home, I watched it, and the show is good as far as in ring, and I liked it for the most part. But I guess many, when they hear Battle of the Belts, I'm sure the expectations were high. Perhaps we had all the titles online. And I mean, we had an interim TNT championship on Battle of the Belts. We had the FTW championship defended, which is not really a quote unquote real title for AEW. The only real title match we had on the card was Britt Baker and Riho, which was okay, but we knew the outcome. And so, and with Cody, having a COVID related issue and possibly being out for a week or two or some time because we don't know with his schedule with Go Big Show and Rhodes to the Top. We don't know, but still was a quality show from AEW. I guess really the expectations were just a bit high. Because, I mean, we think about the belts. Yeah, the AEW World title was on the line. Of course, was that great matchup between Bryan Danielson and Hangman on Wednesday. We had the tag team title match on Wednesday as well. I think it was just not the right timing because we had the TBS debut on Wednesday and then come here to Battle of the Belts on Saturday night. It didn't really live up to expectations, although it was a quality show from AEW. But we did get some good matches. We did get some furthering of some storylines, so got that aspect there. But yeah, quality show from AEW. But I am AJO Love. If you like this video, click that like button. Plus, if you want to see more of these videos, click that subscribe on the channel as well. You can find all the videos on the homepage. Battle of the Belts. Start out with the interim TNT Championship match between Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Again, I don't think I've ever seen a interim title match for pro wrestling. So this was mostly a first. If I have, it's not been for a long while. But this match though is good. The thing is, the drop off from Cody to Dustin. I also took a bit of luster out in this match as well. Because Dustin, as great as he is, into his 50s, he was not in the rankings, not in the top 5, but I guess primarily because he is Cody's brother, he will slide into his position against Sammy. Match though is good. Sammy got the early advantage. He got the advantage on Dustin, knocked him to the outside. Of course, we all know and love Arn Anderson or Armed Anderson or Glock Anderson, whichever you want to say, from those great promos. But Sammy kind of mocked Arn Anderson there, and Anderson flipped him off at ringside, so nice touch. Sammy got his knee slammed into the ring steps by Dustin, which was a vocal point of the match. Dustin hit a pile driver on Sammy on the outside, but Sammy got in at 9. Back on the outside, or back from break, Dustin hit a power slam for a near fall. One of the best snap power slams in the business, next to Randy Orton. Sammy hit a beautiful springboard tope slash to the outside. Although, again, they were talking about the leg getting slammed into steps. Sammy looked like he went for a springboard cutter, but was countered into a crossroads by Dustin for a near fall. Dustin, back in the corner, hit a code red for a 2 count. Guevara muscled up Dustin when he looked like he was going for something, perhaps a moonsault. But Sammy hit the GTH on Dustin for a 2 count. Fuego del Sol, Sammy Guevara's best friend, came out from underneath the ring, tried to encourage Sammy, and brought a table from underneath the ring. And Sammy obliged, they helped put the table, but Arn was not having it, so he scarred off Fuego, and then Sammy and Dustin were on the apron, and Dustin hit a destroyer to Sammy through the table. After what has happened already with Phoenix on Wednesday with dislocating his shoulder, and then Jake Atlas tweaking his knee on Rampage on Friday, this spot made you a little antsy because the injury bug was not kind on Wednesday and Friday. But thankfully, everyone seemed to be okay after the spot. So then back in the ring, Dustin rolled up Sammy for a near fall. Finally, they were changing pins, and Sammy finally rolled up Dustin for the win. And Sammy Guevara is now the interim TNT champion. Afterwards, Seattle, good show of respect with Dustin. And then Daniel Garcia, who was out in the crowd observing the match, he got in the ring, got into Sammy Guevara's face, and then a brawl escalated between the two, separated by officials. Afterwards, it was announced backstage that Sammy Guevara will face Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship, quote unquote, on Wednesday on Dynamite. So, with the interim title, Cody may be out for a while, a good while. We don't know. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia should be a good match, and we know how much stock that AEW has in Daniel Garcia for the future. So should be a good match, but hopefully after this we get some more clarity as to the TNT title's future is concerned. So Ricky Starks, the FTW champion, face off here against Matt Sydal. Another quality match, but of course you knew Matt Sydal wasn't going to win the FTW title. Still a good match between the two. We know both can go. Obviously, we have not seen Ricky Starks, and quite a bunch. You could really count on one hand the amount of matches he's been in since he injured his neck. So perhaps they're just. I mean, I saw I heard an interview he had on Barstool Wrestling saying that perhaps they're just waiting with him. Perhaps they're just taking it slow. Perhaps easing him back because, neck injuries, that's not really something you want to mess with. So perhaps that's why. But I would love to see Reese Starks in a more meaningful feud because we know how talented he is in the ring and on the mic. So we'll see. But this match, he won here against Matt Sydal. Starks out of the corner, he hit a Uranagi on Sydal for a 2 count. Starks was dinged, perched on top rope, but Sydal caught him with a Hurricanrana, followed with a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Finally, they were changing again. Sydal caught him with a roundhouse kick and lightning spiral for another 2 count. Up on top rope, Sydal hit a Meteora. I thought he was going for the air Sydal, but that was not the case. Finally, Starks came off the ropes. Big spear. And then hit the Rochambeau on Sydal for the win. And Starks retains. Afterwards, Lee Moriarty and Dante Martin came out for the save of Sydal. Two students of Sydal, or proteges, came out and Dante Martin got the better of Powerhouse Hobbs, got in his face. knocked him to the outside. This match versus between Hobbs and Dante should be good. The rematch for Wednesday on Dynamite, we'll see. But I like sorta this storyline with Team Taz and Dante, but seems like they're gearing towards perhaps for Darius to come back with his brother, and perhaps then they can really even the odds for Team Taz. I don't know, because it's January, so perhaps in a couple weeks Darius comes back because he's been out a long time since. Yeah, it's just a long time since Darius been out, so hopefully he's back soon. And with Dante rejoining Leo Rush, perhaps they're a force to look forward to the trios titles with. So in the main event, Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Riho. Solid match between two women. Of course, the storyline going into this was Britt Baker has not beaten Riho. But clearly we knew Britt Baker was not losing this title on Saturday night. And thus, they made it as believable as they could. Um, on the outside, Riho, she had crossbody taking out Rebel on the outside. There was some dissension between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker on what to do. But finally, Britt hit a sling blade on Riho on the outside. It looked like Hayter and Britt were going to set up a table, but Britt was taken out and almost like a launching pad, Riho propelled off this table and nailed Jamie Hayter on the outside, taking her out for a time being. Back in the ring, Riho managed to hit the double foot stomp on Britt Baker. Then a 619 for a near fall. She went for a diving foot stomp again, but Rebel was shielding Britt Baker, so Rebel took the blow. Britt hit an airy crash back in the ring for a 2 count. Finally hit a curb stomp, but to no avail. Riho hit a crucifix bomb, followed with a Northern Lights for a 2 count. They were exchanging in the middle ring. Britt hit a super kick, followed with a curb stomp for another near fall, and then as Riho kicked out, Britt locked in the lockjaw for the win as Riho tapped out. Afterwards, after some dissension, Jamie Hayter handed the title to Britt Baker. So, like they're built, it almost seems like as they're building Wardlow to break away from MJF, we could potentially in the future see Jamie Hayter break away from Britt Baker. That's just a thought there, but still a good match between two women. Um, and a good show. It's just the expectations coming into this Battle of the Belts didn't quite live up to expectations. Still a good show nonetheless. Um, and got a good Dynamite gearing up towards on Wednesday. CM Punk versus Wardlow, Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. So, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. Got some good matchups lined up for Wednesday. So, we'll see. But nonetheless, also, of course, Kawashia for Serena Deeb. So, yeah, good matchups lined up for Dynamite. So, again, thank you for joining me. Well, been interesting covering or reviewing Battle of the Belts, but still good to give an extra review. Um, Obviously, Revolution is not till the end of February or beginning of March, so it's good to sprinkle in an extra review there. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. I'll of course be back on Thursday for AEW Dynamite review. But thank you all. Be safe. Peace.